Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to dive into the fascinating world of body language, how our gestures, postures, and facial expressions convey so much more than words alone. This presentation, titled Decoding Body Language, Understanding Nonverbal Communication, will offer valuable insights to help you interpret these unspoken signals and improve your interactions with others. Let's explore how mastering nonverbal cues can enhance your connections in both personal and professional settings. Body language is a powerful part of how we communicate every day. It often reveals our true emotions and intentions, even more than the words we speak. There are 29 key movements that help us understand how people show different feelings, like confidence, openness, discomfort, or engagement. For example, certain gestures and postures can signal that someone feels confident in open interaction, while other subtle cues might indicate they're uncomfortable or fully engaged in the conversation. By learning to recognize these signals, we can improve our interactions with others, making communication clearer and building stronger empathy in both our personal and professional relationships. When we look at arm and hand movements, they play a crucial role in expressing our emotions and intentions without words. For example, crossing your arms is a very common gesture that typically indicates defensiveness or a need for self protection. It's like creating a physical barrier when someone feels uncomfortable or guarded. On the other hand gestures themselves can tell us a lot about a person's state of mind. Relaxed hand movements often suggest confidence and calm, while tense or fidgety gestures might reveal nervousness or anxiety. These subtle cues add important layers of meaning to what is being said, helping us understand the full message beyond just the words. Finger pointing is often seen as a dominant gesture. When someone points their finger, it usually signals assertion or control. It can come across as accusatory, making the person receiving the gesture feel challenged or even defensive. On the other hand, exposing the palm is almost opposite in meaning. Showing your palm generally conveys honesty and openness. It suggests a willingness to engage sincerely and transparently. These gestures, whether intentional or not, provide powerful, often subconscious clues about a speaker's intentions and how they relate to their audience. Understanding these subtle cues can significantly enhance how we interpret communication. When someone places their hands in their pockets, it can signal a variety of psychological states, and the meaning really depends on the context. On the positive side, this gesture can come across as confident and casual, showing that the person feels comfortable and at ease. However, it can also serve as a red flag, indicating nervousness, insecurity, or even a desire to disengage from the conversation. That's why it's important to look at this gesture in combination with other body language cues to accurately understand whether the individual is truly relaxed or possibly withdrawing from the interaction. When we look at leg and foot movements, they can tell us a lot about a person's comfort level and attitude. For example, leg postures like crossing the legs often give us clues about how open or comfortable someone feels. Crossing legs can act as a kind of barrier, signaling defensiveness or a need for protection. On the other hand, when legs are uncrossed, it generally suggests that the person is more approachable and open to interaction. Foot positioning also plays an important role. When feet are steady and firmly placed, it usually shows calmness and confidence. But if you notice feet tapping or shifting around, it might indicate impatience or discomfort. These small movements are subtle, but they can really help us understand what someone might be feeling. When someone exhibits restless foot movements, like tapping or bouncing, it often signals feelings of anxiety, impatience, or frustration. These small, seemingly minor actions can tell us a lot about what a person might be experiencing internally. Similarly, shifts in sitting positions, whether it's frequent adjustments or changes in posture, like leaning forward or backward, can reveal shifts in their engagement level or emotional state. These subtle cues are incredibly important because by recognizing them, we can gain a deeper understanding of someone's feelings during conversation, allowing us to respond more empathetically and effectively. When someone smiles, it usually signals friendliness and agreement, making interactions feel more positive and welcoming. Similarly, nodding your head is a powerful way to show affirmation and engagement, letting the other person know you're actively listening and on the same page. On the other hand, shaking your head typically expresses disagreement or skepticism, providing clear nonverbal feedback. These facial expressions and head movements play a crucial role in communication by giving immediate insight into emotional responses, which helps conversations flow more smoothly and understanding to develop more naturally. Let's take a closer look at some common facial gestures and what they often communicate. First, eyebrow raising can signal surprise, but it can also show skepticism, depending on the context. Next, eye rolling is typically a clear sign of contempt or disbelief, usually expressing disagreement or irritation. Lip biting is another interesting gesture. It often points to stress or hesitation, like when someone is unsure or anxious. Moving on, chin stroking is usually a sign of contemplation, suggesting the person is deep in thought. Finally, head tilts often reveal curiosity or attentiveness, indicating engagement and interest in what's being said. These subtle cues can tell us a lot about how someone is feeling or thinking without them saying a word. When we talk about eye and gaze movements, one of the most important aspects is the role of eye contact in building trust. Variations in how we make eye contact can really convey whether someone appears trustworthy or interested. For example, maintaining steady eye contact often signals honesty and attentiveness. Next, consistent eye contact tends to create a sense of connection and confidence between people. On the other hand, avoiding eye contact might indicate discomfort or desire to hide something, which can affect how others perceive us. Finally, by understanding different gaze patterns, we can better interpret how engaged someone is and even get clues about their truthfulness during conversations. Paying attention to these subtle cues can improve the way we communicate and connect with others. When someone leans forward during conversation, it usually shows they are actively interested and engaged in what's being said. On the other hand, leaning back can indicate a sense of detachment or disinterest. You might notice that fidgeting is often a sign of nervousness or an attempt to self-soothe in a stressful situation. Similarly, touching the face is another common self-soothing behavior that can reveal inner tension. When someone shrugs, it's typically a clear expression of uncertainty or lack of knowledge about the topic. Lastly, mirroring, when a person subtly copies another's movements, is a powerful sign of rapport and mutual understanding, showing that both parties are in sync. These subtle body language cues can tell us a lot about how someone is feeling or reacting beyond their words. When someone straightens their posture, it often shows confidence and readiness. It's a way people physically express that they feel assertive and in control of the situation. On the other hand, touching the neck is usually a sign of nervousness or discomfort. It can be a subconscious way for someone to protect themselves or cope with feeling uneasy. These small body language cues can tell us a lot about how a person is feeling beneath the surface. When someone frequently checks their watch, it often sends a signal of impatience or a strong awareness of time constraints. It can also hint at underlying anxiety about how long something is taking. Similarly, pacing, such as walking back and forth or shifting weight from one foot to the other, is a classic sign of restlessness or nervous energy. These behaviors reveal how a person is mentally processing time and can give us clues about their emotional state in that moment. Understanding these subtle cues helps us better interpret what someone might be feeling beyond their words. To sum up, the 29 body language movements we've covered offer a thorough framework to help us interpret nonverbal cues in communication. By recognizing gestures involving the arms, hands, legs, facial expressions, and posture, we can significantly enhance our interpersonal understanding and boost our emotional intelligence. Sharpening these observation skills not only aids in building stronger relationships, but also plays a critical role in negotiation and conflict resolution. Most importantly, these body language insights allow us to uncover the unspoken messages that lie beneath the words people use, giving us a deeper and more complete understanding of their true intentions.